a stew.
A pinch of salt and laughter too.
A scoop of kids to add the spice.
A dash of love to make it nice. And you got
too many cooks.
too many cooks.
Too many cooks. Too many cooks. Too many cooks.
Too many cooks.
Too many cooks.
It takes a lot to make a stew.
When it comes to me and you,
And him and her and the baby too. Too many cooks, it's true.
they say it goes, it'll spoil the broth.
Honey, I think that's not true.
Well, maybe too many cooks will spoil the broth, but they'll fill our hearts with so much love. Too many cooks. A family is like a soup.
Everyone adds an extra scoop.
Mix an ounce of a smile so sweet.
A dash of cool to add the heat. And you got
Too many cooks.
too many.
Too many cooks. Too many cooks.
Too many cooks.
Wait, what? Too many cooks.
Welcome to Korracast. This week we're going to be talking about the episode Battle of Zaofu. So, in case most of you don't know, like we said last week, we're going to keep doing things after Korracast is over with YumChunks. We actually have our own pages for YumChunks. YumChunks.tumblr.com and Facebook.com/YumChunks. So, go to either one of those things. That's going to be the best way to keep up with us once Korracast is over and done with. So,
Yeah. Also, be sure to check out our YouTube page.
Go to the YouTube.
the Bolin Varric story is actually the part that I liked more about this episode. The whole scene with the bomb I thought actually had tension and was hilarious.
I agree with the latter part. I thought it was really funny, but I thought I didn't think that they're not gonna kill Bolin and
No,
Varric.
but I was interested to see how they were gonna resolve that scenario. So I don't know, it was fun.
I guess because Varric's kind of like one of the Wastrel character, so you don't really ever think there's any. Is that a word?
Astral?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a word.
No, that's not a word.
Here's someone look it up.
Wastrel Gawatwa.
This
I mean,
week's
I can
question
spell it. I don't think
is
it's a word.
look up the word Wastrel
The way
and then tell me if that's a word or not.
Rastral, a wasteful or good-for-nothing person.
Boom! What's up? Internet. Are we filming?
Oh wait, yeah, we are!
Yes! Please put that in there. Yes! Okay, look. I think the only purpose that the Varric Bolin storyline served was to provide comic relief. I actually didn't think about what was resolved. Nothing, because now Julie's in charge of developing the weapon. That storyline's going to proceed.
No, I agree with you in terms of it advancing major plot points. It was comic relief. We learned a little bit more about the Spirit Vines, only in so much that we know that we could control it now. And it advanced Varric and Bolin in that now they're free, meaning I assume they're going to Republic City. So it's advancing that forward. It's something that we assumed was going to happen anyway, but I think those are the major points we got out of it. But I think the best part was, it was just funny. One other thing that was kind of interesting is, when Varric, he was trying to blah 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 and fooling him and tricking him and saying I'm doing blah 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 bombs, but not really. He says there's so much power, but you have to learn how to control it, right? Says something along those lines. Smash cut to Korra being a moron, just throwing stuff at her, at Kuvira, losing the battle without able to control it. I think was maybe the other side of it. Thematically, it was important because it's about, look, okay, there's all this power hidden within us and the vines and blah, 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 and it's the Avatar. You just have to learn how to control it. And you would think after 3.5 seasons, Korra would have by now, but...
See, the thing that disappoints me the most about this is that not only does the Korra failure at being able to fight have like a been there, done that feel already just for this season, because we saw 2 episodes ago when she was trying to fight with Toph.
Right.
So we already saw this, but it also feels like it's going to be one of those things where everything, all the turmoil and stuff that's in Korra is going to get resolved in the finale. And it's not going to be something that gets resolved like mid-season and where she builds towards a resolution in the finale. It's like all of her character growth is going to be in the course of the finale. At least that's what it feels like, and I don't want that to be the case.
It could be argued that, but at the same time, it did look like in the Swamp episodes she had been resolved. So it is nice that we're getting a little bit of regression.
And that's what I love about that, is that I thought it was too. I think they wanted us to feel like she's resolved, she's ready to get back in the field, she's ready to then be the Avatar.
Yeah.
But I didn't feel that way, and that's why I loved this episode. I didn't feel like I wasn't there that episode that we were talking about it because I didn't get to express that opinion. But I felt like in that episode she didn't earn her resolution. I felt it was a little bit of a flop. It felt a little flat that she didn't actually earn her like Toph. Like, you're cured. Now go for it.
And see,
I didn't feel that way, and I love this episode because it proved that.
The kind of resolution that you're afraid to see in the finale was what I had thought we'd already seen at the end of the Swamp Toph little storyline, and the fact that we are undoing that a little bit is proving how hard this is going to be. So it makes her struggle is season wide. It's season
exactly,
length.
and that's what I love about this episode so much is that it like her failure wasn't complete before. I feel like now her failure is so much worse than we ever thought it was. It's so complete, and I hate to say that, like, I love seeing the hero destroyed. That's not what I mean. I just mean that it makes it so much deeper than I ever thought it was. And then, like, that moment when we see Kuvira, like, down there, and she pulls her, and it's again the Phantom Korra that...
I agree with you for the most part, and I think I agree with you in the idea of what you're saying more than... Because I think ultimately, though, it still came down to a physical battle, and I felt like we've seen Korra lose physical battles before, and I felt that's why it was a little bit not super fresh, right? I didn't think it was as much of a character fall as before. The best part was when she sees herself in Kuvira, because it reinforces the idea that she sees herself as a victim still.
Yeah,
right?
I guess
that was the best part.
That was the most important part, because the battle itself, I personally was underwhelmed by it.
I think that was the point. I think even before she engaged in combat, I remember when I was watching it, I remember like, no, Korra, you are going to lose it. Do not fight her. You are going to lose. I could already see it happening, that she was in the first attack she makes, she's telegraphing her moves. They're slow, they're whatever. Kuvira, the entire battle, is toying with her.
We haven't seen everything that Kuvira can do, and we definitely haven't seen everything that Korra can do. We know that because we know
We've
that
seen what she can do, yeah.
The thing that I don't understand is that there's no way that Kuvira would know that Korra is in a weakened state. She's egging her on to go into the Avatar state, and the second she does, she starts poning Kuvira, as expected. So what is the point of Kuvira doing that? If she had no idea that Korra would, freak out and see herself in the Avatar state.
She obviously didn't know that Korra was seeing phantom versions of herself, but she did know that supposedly she was in the South Pole healing for 3 years. So she had to know that she wasn't her 100%. And Kuvira's pretty headstrong, so that doesn't really surprise me.
Right, that's a good point. I think that lends a hint at what Kuvira's weakness is a little overconfidence, right?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, and this kind of goes to maybe my issues with Kuvira still, is that I feel like she's so powerful, and I'm not sure where exactly that's founded from. Obviously, she has her physical powers, which are pretty impressive. Okay, that makes sense. But again, to really have the gall to think I could take the Avatar in the Avatar state.
Right.
I mean, and then it goes even later in the episode when she kind of is conquered, and she's like, okay, now we're gonna have peace. You're gonna bow to me though, and this is another weakness I think in the villain characterness of her. I want to see her as a cool villain, a good villain, something we have like. It's not about me, right? If she's really wanting peace and for the Earth Kingdom united, bow to me, swear loyalty to me. No, why is it like, hey, join the Earth Kingdom or die makes sense. Join or bow to me or die. That's not a uniter.
Yeah.
The best thing that I think Kuvira has done this entire series is the one line she had where she said, guys, behind, army, to you, I would not ask you guys to do anything that I wouldn't do myself, which I thought was a great line. It's just, it hasn't fit anything that she's done so far this season. If we see more of that, I really think I can get behind Kuvira's cause and like her as a character. But we haven't gotten that. She's just been straight up villain. Just been straight up, I'm going to crush everything just because I have a vendetta against someone, against something that happened in the 3-year span that we haven't seen yet.
Right, and which is why I would completely agree with you. I think there's more than meets the eye here. Because if we're halfway through the season and it's this amounting to a head of, oh, we have to stop Kuvira, there's got to be something more to it. Then, especially in regards to her character.
And I don't want a villain's backstory to also be something that it takes place in the finale. I want it to be something that carries out through the entire season so that I grow to like her. I understand where she's coming from.
Right.
And it's like, okay, I know where she's coming from. I know where Korra's coming from. They're going to come and cross paths again. And it's like, who do I want to win? I don't even know. And that would make the fight so much more compelling. The fight right now, you obviously want Korra to win. There's no reason, you don't care about Kuvira at all. So then why care about this fight?
I mean, if you think about it, go back to the original series, you have the two antagonists, right? You have Zuko and Ozai. And what would you rather have as a villain? Zuko, or not as a villain necessarily, but as an antagonist. Zuko, right? And it's the same thing. The first season, in the beginning, he's just the antagonist. You get a little bit of backstory, but it's not until season 2, and you really fully understand it. You like him. You're more conflicted when they face off against each other. You don't want Aang to just beat him. And what you like? Oh, I understand him. I know his backstory. I empathize with that. Whereas Ozai, you never do. Like, right? He's just an awful jerk.
Evil, yeah.
There's no one ever supposed to like him, and that's what I'm afraid Kuvira is becoming. Right? And I felt like
it's without that other villain.
I felt like we've matured and advanced beyond that, and I agree. We might be impatient, so I don't want to place judgment completely on it now, but I do feel like, come on, guys.
One last note: when they were fighting, remember that move where Kuvira just turns the earth?
Yeah, that was cool.
That was freaking sweet.
That was awesome. Why?
Okay, look,
Julie.
look. What is Batar Jr., what is his motivation in all this? Why is he so angry? Speculate.
We literally mentioned him 0 times in our chunk bending.
I don't care.
Okay.
Why does he hate his family so much? We have yet to really see a strong motivation, and they seem to put some emphasis on it this episode. So maybe it will become a little bit more relevant.
Batar Jr., what's his deal?
He kind of reminds me of Percy Weasley.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And
Speculate.
and maybe as a greater kind of thought, any greater theories about the Beifong family and their resolution?
Yeah, Beifong.
Just in general. We haven't seen Lin in a while.
Now all I can think of is Kuvira looks like Cornelius Fudge, and that's not a good image, because he's a fat old guy.
Yeah, he's a fat old guy. Kuvira is a beautiful woman.
She's not that great.
He's allowed to be attracted to Kuvira. Is no one else thinking Power is attractive? Is no one else attracted to Power?
Will spoil the broth, but they'll fill our hearts with so much love. Too many cooks. A family is like a soup.
Everyone adds an extra scoop.
Mix an ounce of smile so sweet.
A dash of cool to add the heat. And you got
Too many cooks.
too many cooks.
Too many cooks. Too many cooks. Too many cooks. Too many cooks. Too many cooks.
Too many cooks.
Too many cooks.
Too many cooks.
Too many cooks.
Too many cooks.
Too many cooks.
Too many cooks.
Too many cooks.
Too many cooks.
Too many cooks.
Too many